It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hello, and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your host, Uncle Roy. And of course, we have no Callie Ellis. Oh, I could cry, I still miss her. Oh, I could cry. But anyway, to go on with our new promo, Northwoods Cooking Show goes on the road. And we're coming to a location, to a town near you. So guess where we are? Some type of playfield, don't you think? Baseball over here, and there's soccer over there. Nice and green. So anyway, we are at the Bass Lake Playfield. This is a playfield for soccer and baseball, softball, just off of the Northwest Boulevard Road, between Bass Lake and between Bass Lake and Rockford Road, about halfway in between. And so I thought I'd stop along here and film. There's nobody out here today, which is nice for one, and bad for another, because I can't get other people in the shot. But it was nice though, because then I'm not fighting traffic. It's rush hour, and it's just terrible out there driving. Oh. This is the worst construction I've ever seen. Every place you go to is under construction. Every place. To continue on with something simple to make, that's easy to make. You can make it at home, or you can make it on the road, and your picnics, etc. Today we're going to be doing a chicken salad. Not a pasta salad, but a green salad with greens. And what we start out with, of course, is our greens, and we have spinach. Now what you want to do is just take your spinach. This already comes cleaned and washed, so this is fine for on picnics, and you don't have to worry about cleaning it and everything else. I've got the sanitary wipes in my car. I already wiped off my hands, I'm fine. It's just take a line your bowl or plate or dish, whatever. Next, I'm going to take some green pepper. Oh no, don't do that. Gotta do the beans first. We got black beans. Take 1 can of black beans and rinse it off completely. There's a lot of nitrates associated with that juice that's over your beans. So you want to make sure you rinse them very thoroughly. And then just put in as little or as much beans as you want on top of your spinach salad. Next, we do the corn. Beans and corn always go, black beans and corn always go great with everything. And this is the Mexicali corn. So drain that and rinse that off too. And then you just put on as much as you want to, little or as much. Generally speaking, it's like you can just mix this all together to make one big huge platter. This is 1 can too. That goes on top of your spinach. Next we have a little bit of green pepper. Now you remember how to clean the peppers. Cut those in half. And you want to make sure now you get out that pith, which is all the white membrane. Cut that out or just pull it out. And then you can put in as little or as much as you want. That doesn't matter. I'm just cutting up a little tiny bit, and this goes right on top of the corn and the beans. Oh, wait, people going by. Troublemakers too. Oh, little puppies. I think I'm crazy. So I'm just doing like about 3 strips for individuals on each bowl. And that goes around the top like that. And then we're going to take and put our chicken. Now I got the pre-cooked chicken. If you're out and about, you can do this on your grill. And I don't know if you remember, if you saw the last episode or not, but with the cooking of your chicken, if you did it on a grill, like if you had a public place like this, you never know what's been on those grills that they have. Scrape them off, whatever. Fine and dandy, but I do not want to put in my food on top of those grills. So the best tip that I can give you, which is fabulous, is get your cookie rack. Those metal racks for cooling your cookies and cakes on. and just lay that right on top of the grill itself that's outdoors. Protects you from the germs and everything right away. Just spray with a little Pam or spray whatever, oil spray. And just take and grill your chicken breast right on there. All your food, everything. It comes off clean and nice and sanitary. You don't have to worry about it because you already have it clean. So you know what was on your grill. And that's fabulous. It protects you from that dirty grill, nasty grill that people have had out, that is out in public areas. You don't know what people have put on it or what they've done into it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So just, that's a really safe tip for you. Next, you want to take and put on some wedges of tomatoes and just cut out your core right off the top like that. And then we'll just cut this in half. And you can put on, of course, as much or as little as you want to. It doesn't matter. But I usually, for a bowl like this, like to put on about 4 wedges. And you can cut them as big or as little as you want to. Medium-sized tomato. I will generally cut them into 8s. Homegrown, huge tomatoes, cut them bigger, smaller pieces, whatever, cut them into chunks. But I can get some nice wedges out of here. And just place those on your salad bowl, just like that. Very simple. Cheese goes on last, any flavor you want to. Generally, I like to use a sharp cheddar or even even a Gouda sound kind of good too. Or Mexicali cheese, since we have the Mexicali corn in there. I don't know, did I say Mexicali corn? Yeah, because it was the Mexicali corn, not just plain corn. The Mexicali corn with, with the peppers and stuff mixed in with it to give it color and flavor, a little kick spice to it. We'll then take and pour on our dressing. Now we'll just drizzle this across, just very slowly, a little bit at a time. You don't want to go heavy. Well, on preference. Whether you, oh, is that good? Whether you want it heavy or not. And the dressing is so simple to do. I've got my little shaker. 2 tablespoons of ranch. 2 tablespoons of salsa. And then 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. Mix those 3 together, shake, shake, shake. And this wonderful dressing, just pour that over the top. Then we're going to just sprinkle with a little bit of the shredded cheese. I happen to have sharp cheddar. I like the sharp cheddar for the flavor and also for the color. But you can use whatever flavor you want to. It doesn't matter. Oh, we're filling up here. Getting busy. Ooh, getting busy. Northwoods Quick Show. Troublemakers over there too at 4 o'clock. But that's all we have then for the summer picnic salad. And we'll get a close-up of this too. And that's a little summer spinach chicken salad. Isn't that wonderful? Ooh. Well, that's it for our summer chicken salad. We're going to take and do our next hot dish. Hot dish, not a hot dish casserole, but a hot food in our next segment. And it's going to be well, the trend right now is a lobster macaroni and cheese. A lot of the restaurants are serving that. Well, we're going to do a little Uncle Roy and kick it up just a little notch, and we're going to be making lobster ravioli mac and cheese. I have ravioli that's filled with lobster and tomatoes, and then we're going to make that into, serve that in a cheese sauce with fresh sharp cheddar and Gouda, with a little touch of bay leaf and nutmeg. Makes it a wonderful cheese sauce that's just to die for. So we'll be back for our next segment with that shortly. And for now, while we're at the Bass Lake playground, playfield, let's go over and take a look at the billboard and learn a little history on the place. And this is the Bass Lake playfield. Park closes at 10:30. Alcohol, tobacco, and golf are prohibited. Leash and clean up after your pet. Only city vehicles beyond the parking lot. Park scheduled and maintained by Plymouth Parks and Recreation. You are here. So, looking forward to seeing you in another town. Stay tuned for the lobster ravioli mac and cheese. Welcome back to part 2 of the Northwoods Cooking Show on location. We were in Plymouth at the Bass Lake playground there, playfield. And now, due to the weather conditions, I had to come back in. And we're going to take and continue on with the lobster ravioli in mac and cheese sauce. To die for. Oh, good. Really, really great. So, of course, we're going to need a stick of butter, which is a half a cup. And we're going to take and melt this down. We're going to take and make a roux. Excuse me. Which is the thickener for the sauce. And what that is, we're going to melt down a half cup of butter. And to that, we'll take and put in a half a cup of flour. So it's equal amounts of butter and flour. So that gives you the idea then if you're making larger amounts or smaller amounts, it's just equal amounts of butter and flour. And of course, measure off. You don't have to measure off your flour equally, but it helps so that we don't get a too dry a roux. We don't want a dry roux. You want a smooth, creamy, pasty roux. If it's lumpy and too dry, then that's how you get lumps in your sauces because you didn't have a dissolved, soft enough roux. You put too much flour and you got your lumps in the beginning, that stays clumpy in your sauce then. They don't always dissolve. So the best bet is 50-50, or equal amounts. And so you get a nice roux like this. It's nice and smooth. It's kind of hard to get the camera up and down that way, so it's better for me to shove it down into the eye there. So now we got that going. And then we're going to add 2 cups of milk. And actually what I have here is 1 cup of milk, half a cup of evaporated milk, and a half cup of heavy cream, which is your liquid whipping cream. And you want to pour this in, not fast or slow, but medium, whatever. And stir it as you do it. Mix it up with that roux. Now we're going to bring this back to a boil. And then it'll thicken up on it as it starts to boil. We're also going to take in there and put in, about 1/4 teaspoon, we don't want a lot, of nutmeg. Gives it a touch of flavor. Ooh, it's getting warm in here with that light. Woo! And I'm going to put just a dash of pepper. About 1/4 teaspoon, not even that, about 1/8 of black pepper. And that nutmeg in most of your cream sauces just gives it a little Uncle Roy's. I've learned that in making quiches, you always put a touch of nutmeg. So I've been, experimenting with other sauces, and if you just put in that touch of nutmeg, it just makes a huge difference and a good difference. Not overpoweringly, so you don't want to put a lot in. Kind of has that Scandinavian touch to it, you know what I mean? Well, this is thickening up nice. And now to this, I'm also going to be adding some chicken base. Anyway, I'm putting in, about a teaspoon of chicken base. You don't want a lot now, because remember, chicken base is pure salt. So just enough to flavor it up. I'm going to take this off the heat. That's thickening up too thickly. I can thin it out with more milk or heavy cream or whatever you got left over. But that chicken base is pure salt, so just a little bit goes a long way for flavoring. That's all we need, is just a titch for flavoring. And we didn't want it to sugar or salt. We don't want too much salt in there because, like I said, it's pure salt. Your cheeses that we're going to put in here has a lot of salt in it too. Anything that you have canned has salt in it. They use it as preservative. So I just stick straight back from salt, adding if I don't have to. Also, when we serve in the restaurants and stuff like that, people have salt and pepper at their tables, so they can add more if they want to taste. You can't take it out. Remember how I tell you that? You can't take it out once you put it in, and how we do put things in slowly at a time, because you can't take it out once you put it in. So you go slowly at a time to get the flavor that you want. after experience, I know how much to put in. Anyway, the sauce has gotten really thick, so it's like too thick, you know. So we're gonna, of course, thin it out. Whatever you have left over. I got some of that heavy cream left over. Oh, recyclables. And I still have some of the canned milk left over. The heavy cream and the evaporated milk gives it a wonderful smooth texture. You get a delicious flavor rather than just plain milk. But plain milk is just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just like, when am I going to use, you know, the rest of that heavy cream and canned milk up for myself? You know what I'm saying? So I'll just take and use this as my thinner. And all together, we're probably putting in about at least another cup. Excuse me. So you want to get that initial thickness going with your roux when we added the 2 cups of liquid. And then you just add a little bit more on from there. See? What a nice smooth texture that is. It's very velvety and smooth. Ooh. Good, 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 good. Now I can turn that heat back down. God, I hate electric. Oh, you know how I hate electric? Oh, you can't turn the flame down. It's electric. So you gotta wait for it to cool down. So that's why I take it off, you know. Oh, I just hate this. I hate electric. Hate it, hate it, hate it. So, anyway, that's going. Recyclables. Kelly Alley always reminded me of recyclables. Oh, her nose. Sniff, sniff. Ooh, getting hot here, those lights. Okay, now that's going. We need to add our cheeses. We're going to do a mixture of sharp cheddar. And I got about a cup here of the sharp cheddar. And I got the shredded. You can get the whole. It doesn't matter. But even if you got the whole, take and chop it up. Because the smaller the pieces, the easier it is to melt. It's already melting in the bag because of the heat in here. Whoo-wee! Maybe cloudy, darky weather outside, but it's hot in the kitchen. And then we're going to put in a cup of Gouda. The Gouda and the cheddar blend is like heaven. Oh, the Gouda gives it. Oh, that's the flavor right there. And then I'm just going to put in a couple of slices of American cheese. And one mostly for color, because I don't want the cheese to be too white. I want it to be a little bit more on the orangey side. And also for flavor, because it gives great flavor. And it's also a cheap way of getting a thickener to your sauces without changing the color, because that much or texture. It just melts so easily and fills right in. But I didn't want to have a Velveeta taste to it, you know, because I want a rich cheese sauce. Because hell, we got lobster ravioli. You don't want to pour Velveeta cheese sauce over it. You want a nice rich sauce. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a cheap sauce on top of rich food. It just, you know, destroys it. But all this cheese melts just so quickly and fast. Ooh. It's getting too hot now. Kitchen won't go waste. Whoa, whoa. I'm jumping in my bedroom where it's air conditioned. Whoa. You can just see now how thick that was and how thin it's getting in that cheese sauce. Look at that. Oh, look at that texture. Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy. I turned that heat down, so I'm not going to bring this back to a boil because it was already cooked. You know what I'm saying? When you brought that to the boil with the roux and the first 2 cups of liquid, that was it. Boom, it was thick. Boom, it's done. So then you can turn your heat down to even a medium low or to even low because it's already done. So we just added more milk to thin it out. We added more cheese. That thickens it back up again. So we might even add a little bit more milk to this or cream, whatever you still have left. But this right now is just, what we're doing is just basically melting the cheese. Ooh, because we don't want those big chunks in there, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. If you got the shredded, it works great. And if you did get the whole brick, shred it yourself, or even chop it up into little tiny pieces. Because the smaller it is, the quicker it's going to melt. And this is on low heat, so I'm okay with stirring this. If you were on a higher heat, you'd have to stir constantly because you don't want it to burn. Nothing worse than scorched cream sauces. There's nothing worse. It just destroys the flavor and everything. You can't save it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. That's why I say it. As soon as you roux a second, boom, turn it down the heat. It's already thick. Like I said, you can always add more, but you can't take it out. So thin it, go slowly. Like I said, I just did the rest of the canned milk and the heavy cream. Now I can just do a little bit of regular milk. Ellie, where will she be sniffing in there? Trying to find treats or something to eat. I know her too well. Oh, I miss her so much. God, I miss her. Oh. As Madame Kali would say, now for the piece de resistance. Oh, Madame Kali. I got her costumes. I have all her costumes still. I'm not going to toss those away in Goodwill. No way. Now this here is the lobster raviolis. These are the huge ones. What we're doing now is they're all cooked. They're put in. What I'm saying though is that I pre-cooked the ravioli, and I was going to take and bring this to the park and cool them off and put them in the Ziploc bag. Now they're all ready to go. They're all cooked. You just got to kind of semi-separate these from the others and put in the... And just let them heat up a little bit. Of course, they will anyway. Now, the raviolis. If you make your own homemade ravioli or if you buy frozen ravioli, whatever's convenient. We did raviolis one year. God, that was quite a long time ago. Maybe we should do that again. So simple. Anyway, but with your ravioli, bring your water to a boil. Maybe a little salt in there, not too much. Because like I said, we don't put salt in anything. Actually, you don't even have to put salt in the water. They won't stick if you keep stirring. Boiling water. Throw in your raviolis. When they come to a float, they're done. But you can let them, it depends on, what's in there, how big they are, how small they are. They'll float right away then if they're tinier. You want them to boil at least 3 to 5 minutes to make sure that inside meat is not frozen anymore. So that it's thawed out. The way we're making this now, it doesn't matter because we're going to put this in the oven anyway. So I got that oven on. Let's get this going here. And 3 to 5 minutes, all you need in the ravioli. Boom, scoop them out of the water. They're done. Chill them off, and then rinse them off with cold water until they're chilled to the temperature of the water. Drain it. Make sure they drain dry. Don't leave the excess water on. Drain them dry. And then put a little oil on them so they don't stick together. And then you can throw them in your plastic bag and put them in the fridge or put them in the freezer, and they're ready for whenever you need them. So what I did that so that I could take them to the park and we could do that. But because of the weather coming up here, the rain and everything, we're finishing this off here now. So, talk a mile a minute here. Got to get everything in. Okay, now, to finish off, I want to make these individual ones. Basically, it's done. So you can throw in a big casserole pot if you want to. I'm throwing these into individual ramekins so that, I can put these at the plate, at the table, for my guests, whatever, for your family, etc. My guests, yeah, where? I live by myself. I'm by myself. I just hate that. I hate that. Okay. Now, we'll take and portion this off. God, this is so good. Oh, can't wait. I can just see it. I can see it. How good it is. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now I'm just going to fill up my ramekins. And I'm going to portion off the raviolis so that I get the same amount just basically for my guests in each one. All right. I got some multigrain corn tortilla chips. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Here we go. I'm just going to crunch these up. Sprinkle them over the top. This is going to be great. Ooh, it's going to be good. I notice how I took and sprayed the ramekins first. You can hear the butter. Oop, that's done. Ooh, Callie, it's getting too hot in here. Uncle Roy just melted. So now we'll just take butter and just drizzle it over the tops. Ooh. We'll just put this into the oven until it's bubbly, about 20 minutes. But this is going to be just as a garnish. I don't want a heaviness of this cheese on top. So just a light sprinkle. You know, I don't want to fill it up completely, you know. Ooh, Kelly, ooh, can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I am. I'll go into my bedroom for the 20 minutes in air conditioning. Put that in. Hit the timer. Count down to 20, and we'll be right back. Okay. Ooh. 20 minutes. Ah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kelly, I need another towel or something. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Oh, these look fabulous. Oh, fabulous. Oh, look at those, Kelly. Oh, hot, 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 hot. Very hot. Let these cool down at least a good 10 minutes before serving. You're gonna burn your tongue and roof of your mouth if you don't. Oh, gotta get a close up. Gotta get a close up. Oh, look at that. Oh, aren't those delicious looking? Mmm. So those are our lobster ravioli mac and cheese. So from Uncle Roy and the former Miss Kelly Alice. Oh, God, I miss her. we want to say, healthy eating, be safe, and spread the sunshine. Bye-bye, everybody, and thank you for watching.